So there's some defensive orienting there that's wanting to complete, and see how my body is automatically slowly turning to the right. How many of you find dentist appointments stressful? They are for me. I've had a lot of dental procedures. I've got sensitive teeth, and even standard procedures like dental hygiene appointments hurt. So I had a recent dental hygiene, dental cleaning appointment. And as usually when they hit like the sensitive nerve spots, my body would jerk and my body would be bracing against that, when they would hit that spot. When are they going to? And even though I was moving my feet, trying not to get into a freeze response, like I was clamping my hands and my shoulders were tight and I couldn't prevent that. So what I decided to do for you guys is to record myself completing the stress response cycle from the dentist appointment. And I do these things regularly to avoid the pileup of stress in my body. And what I want you to note is all the different things that happen throughout that completion of the stress response. And I will narrate, or I am narrating the video to show you exactly what I'm noticing and what's going on in my body. And I also want you to notice that I am not using any tools or techniques. My body is completing the stress response on its own. Now, I've been in the somatic experiencing and trauma healing world and nervous system regulation for almost 10 years. So my body has the capacity to organically release stress. And I'm demonstrating this not because this is how it's going to look like for you or everyone, but just as an example of what could happen if you have the capacity to be with your body and trust that your body wants to complete trauma responses, wants to complete stress responses, survival responses, and what that potentially could look like. So the whole stress response completion follows an arc. It takes about 7 minutes. So I hope that you stay until the end. But there's an activation. You'll see me trembling, chattering teeth, jerking. And then at some point, you'll see discharge. And as the discharge settling integration happens, you'll see bumps of releases happening. Anyways, I hope to see you at the other end. I just got back from the dentist and I had some regular dental hygiene cleaning, but I'm noticing a lot of tension still stuck in my body. So I'm taking some time to allow my body to move through it. So you see how my body is jerking pretty quickly after sitting down and just feeling into my body. And here my teeth are starting to chatter. And I don't know if you can hear it or not, but the trembling is moving also into my legs. And I am leaving the natural sound on purpose so you can hear when I am breathing. So there's a deep breath that happens. The process is not complete yet. It actually takes a whole 7 minutes if you have the patience to watch through the whole thing, but I'll explain what is happening as the video progresses. So my breathing is getting a little fuller, but still not relaxed. I moved my hands because they were clenched at the dentist chair, and notice how just by moving them, more discharge is moving through my body. So my shoulders are jerking, my legs start twitching again. And then notice how my head is starting to move slightly to the right. And it's doing that automatically. When I was at the dentist chair, I could really only look forward. The dentist was to the right, so there's some defensive orienting there that's wanting to complete. And see how my body is automatically slowly turning to the right. And then I also notice, you can't see it, but I notice heat coming out of the right side of my jaw, neck, and shoulder as that was happening. And then there was a deep breath again. So I'm going through these cycles of activation, bubbling up and through my body, and then the settling. So that happens a few times. My head is still to the right, but and my breathing is not quite, it's not going quite into the belly yet. So I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to see what happens in my body. There is still, can you see the tightness and tension are on the left side? And then something really interesting happens here. A breeze comes, and you'll see my hair move a little bit. And as that breeze touches my skin and my body, some tension releases, and now I'm able to orient to the left. So this is the first time in this video that I am looking towards the left. So now my field of vision is increasing. I can see and perceive more of my environment. Now my legs started to move. My hands are moving freely for the first time. So that means my whole body is starting to relax. And my head now spontaneously, and is, if you can see, it's now orienting to the right, and it feels easy. There is no more tension than before. There was another wave of twitching in my shoulders. So the nervous system is still regulating there. Now the breath is starting to get deeper. And if you look, there is still tension in my jaw, and my awareness is drawn into that, and I wait. And there is the first yawn. And that is also a way that the nervous system releases stress. So we're completing the stress response cycles, and there are multiple cycles of that, from just being at the dentist. And I've certainly had lots of dental trauma, so maybe some of it is also completing here, I don't know. But see how deep this yawn was this time. Yeah, and now the breath is starting to deepen. And we're 5 minutes in, but the settling hasn't completed. And in fact, yeah, you'll see me yawn multiple times now, and the yawns will come one after the other. And the settling actually takes more time than the activation to rise and discharge. So I'm just trusting that my body is releasing. These yawns feel good. My jaw is starting to relax. And I just continue to wait. There was a burp, so that's another way. My body, my nervous system released some more tension, and you can't hear it, but there was some belly gurgling that followed. Some more yawning, and in about 45 seconds, my nervous system completes the stress response cycle. But I chose to do that because I chose to stay here and allow my body to complete it, so that this stress doesn't stay stuck in my body and doesn't accumulate. So I'm doing some somatic cleansing, somatic releasing here. So there's about 20 minutes left. See how my legs just kick up really naturally. Now I look a lot more relaxed. The yawning is more relaxed. Yeah. And now I start to stretch, and I'm like, oh, now we've completed the stress response cycle. And that is it. It felt good. Look how relaxed I look. If you made it to here, thank you. And I'm curious, how was that for you? What stood out for you? What did you notice? I'd love it if you shared this in the comments. I thought it was really cool witnessing my body going through that process, but I don't know what you thought about it. And this is what I teach clients how to do. I teach them how to build the capacity to stay with the body and to not be afraid of all the different kinds of things that can bubble up so that the trauma can actually release the body. If you're interested, then click some of the links below where you can find out more information about me. But in any case, thank you for sticking to the end with me here.